All right, and welcome everybody. This is episode 3 of the We Three Bros podcast. I want to welcome Justin as usual.
Hey everybody, how's everybody doing today?
And Joseph, back again.
Back again. This is my second episode. Glad to be here. I'm not a usual like Justin, right? He's like, hey, just glad to have Justin here. He's like, good to have him here again. And I'm all like, oh shit, well, you know. But it's good to be here. What's up, everybody?
All right, we got some topics to go over today. So first thing we want to talk about today, what was the first video game that either of you have ever beaten that you can remember?
Well, I thought we were going to go with kitchen renovation today since bathroom reno.
No,
since I'm
we
just
did bathroom
kidding.
last week, we got to do kitchen this
guys.
week.
Yeah, I thought we were going to go kitchen. The first video game I ever beat, the weirdest one, guys, it was Super Mario Brothers on the Nintendo NES.
Yeah, that's same for me. That's as far as I can remember. That's the first game I ever actually beat.
Really? Yeah, it's
See,
weird.
this is the funniest thing about being like the young guy, right? Like,
Joseph is like,
Yes.
I'm going to tell you guys a game that no, so the game that I remember that I beat completely, because I remember I played Super Mario Brothers, was terrible at it. I remember I made it pretty far, but I vividly remember when my cousin beat it. We were like all in the house. We were like sitting there cheering him on, to beat Bowser for the final time. And, we were just like a bunch of kids just like, yeah, just like cheering, man. It was awesome, right? But I didn't beat the game. That was the first game I ever got to see like someone else beat, right? And it was kind of like, streaming before streaming, but in person kind of thing, right? So,
Yes.
so that was the first game I ever saw like somebody beat. But the first game that I remember beating, I honestly have to say, I want to say it's Grand Theft Auto Vice City.
Wow.
I think that was the first game I ever beat completely, because I always played a bunch of games. Like I've always been a fan of games. I just never completed them because as you guys remember, whenever my mom could never afford the money to like buy a full game unless it was around Christmas or something, right? And it was on sale.
So you rented.
So I rented the games.
Yes.
We only had 5 days. And so a lot of times I never would beat a game. Like I would play a game and I would play it, and it would only go so far, or I would only get so far in the game and I wouldn't beat it. So there was a lot of games, right? So I remember Grand Theft Auto Vice City. I get terrible, man. I'm a terrible kid, but I wasn't old enough to buy it. But my sister's boyfriend at the time, or husband, eventually became her husband at the time. I remember, and again, he didn't speak English really well. He didn't know. And I was just like, hey man, can you go with me to go buy this game? And I remember I went over there and I asked him, I was like, hey, I want to buy this game. And they're just like, it's rated mature, man. You can't buy this game. And I was like, all right, whatever. So I was like, hey, can you buy this for me? And he was just like, yeah, why can't you buy it? He's just like, I don't know. He says they have to be an adult to buy the game or something. But I didn't tell him why. I was just like, he just says that, I'm too young to go up there and walk up to the counter and buy the game, right? Which is obviously a lie. But he walked up there, bought the game for me, man. I went home, and me and my brother, like, we were sitting there playing it together. My brother, he was good at video games, but there's just certain missions. You know how it is. Sometimes you just need like your big brother to come in and, beat the mission for you. And so I think what ended up happening is I beat the mission for him. And then he just watched me play. He was just like, no, you keep playing. Like, don't mess this up. And I would come home from school, play it. Like, we would get on and like, as soon as I get home from school, play until I had to go to bed. And then the next day I'd be sitting there at school, like studying or like, paying attention. But I was like, damn, I really want to know what's going to happen to Tony or, whoever else is in the game. And then just kind of like going through the missions, man, and then eventually beat the game. And I was like, holy smokes, like this is awesome, right? And then a few years later, San Andreas came out, and I remember beating that one. And I remember when I beat that one, I was like, oh my god, like I think you're like at one point you're riding on a fire truck or something, and like it's just like this spectacular ending to like a Michael Bay film kind of game or something. And but yeah, no, I'm kind of deviating here a little bit. But yeah, Grand Theft Auto Vice City, man, was the game that I beat.
So I got a question for Joseph then. If Vice City did you ever play Grand Theft Auto 3 then? The one before Vice City?
I played some of it, but I never played the game. I played I think the first or the second one. I think it was the second one. I think I played Grand Theft Auto 2. I totally skipped Grand Theft Auto 3, and people love Grand Theft Auto 3. They loved it, but for some reason I don't know why or what happened, and it's kind of like a blur. I just don't remember Grand Theft Auto 3, and I just jumped straight to Vice City. But I remember playing the second one, and I was at a friend's house. It wasn't my friend's, it was my little brother's friend, and it was some kid that lived down the street, and he was just like, "Hey, come over, we're gonna go play this game." And I was like, "All right." And this kid was just like, he sold it to me. He was just like, "Yeah, you get to beat up hookers and take, steal, you go try missions and find drugs, and you get to steal cars." And and you're being a kid, you're just like, "That's badass."
Right.
And obviously, I think you guys remember, it's like top camera view, right? On the first Grand Theft Autos, and you have to kind of move your character and still.
That's
Yeah. And so I remember playing, seeing that
London Underground. Yes.
I was like, "Whoa, what the hell is this?" And just kind of blown away at what you could do, because all I ever played was like Super Mario's. You're the guy in overalls, and you played Mortal Kombat, right? But never would I've thought to be a character to steal cars, right? So it was mind blowing, man. I was like, "What the hell?" So I skipped over 3, man. People still give me shit for it to this day. Maybe one day I'll go back and play it, man. But it's just so
was good.
Just so outdated.
3 was rough though, because you couldn't. I mean, you could fly, but I remember the Dodo had one. That I remember, yes, it had one plane, right, D, and it was the Dodo, and you legitimately had to be some sort of pro
to get that thing to
fly this plane. Yeah, you could get it up off the ground a little bit, but
you had to keep doing
the mechanics. It was
the pitch, up and down to get it to stay up. It was,
and you could finally get it up, but man, it was hard. It was hard to play that game or to fly in that game. Other than that, the game was amazing because it was the first
3D.
Wasn't it the first third person 3D?
3D Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, and I was just amazed by that. Like, that was when it was all over for me, and then it was just Grand Theft Auto from there on out.
Yeah. And Derek, what about you, man? What was the first game that you?
I'm gonna have to say it's probably Super Mario Brothers. That's something that I had an Atari before that. I had 2 different Ataris, 2600 and 7800, but I don't think I ever beat any games on there. Old games used to be hard.
You didn't beat Pitfall?
No, I never did. I never even.
I know, that was hard, dude. That was hard.
Old Atari games were hard as hell. There was secrets to beat some of them old
Asteroids,
games.
Dude. I could never. Yeah.
Even like Pitfall. I mean, it wasn't like a hard game. It was just, I don't know. I never beat it. I don't think I beat any games until Nintendo.
Well, the movement, the mechanics of it was just like you would move your control stick and you would stop the movement of the control stick and your character would still go.
I remember just trying to
down, after.
Tap the stick over, because it had that one stick and then the red button.
Yes.
I remember just trying to tap it a little bit to get him to move. And
yes.
Then, you only have the one red button to do jump or whatever the movement was.
Yes. Yep.
And what was probably one of you guys' favorite game as a kid? Did you guys have a favorite that that you played? Maybe even if you didn't beat it, you just love playing the game over and over.
Probably one of my favorites is either Super Off-Road or RC Pro-Am.
Oh, Off-Road was a fun game.
Yeah, I love Super Off-Road.
You talking about RC Pro-Am for the NES, right?
Yeah. That was a fun game.
Yes. Dude, that was one of my favorite. It was one of my favorites of all time. Was RC Pro-Am. Wow.
So one of my favorite games as a kid was what was it? It was probably Halo. Yeah, it was probably the very first. I'm just kidding. I just wanted to. That's another old joke. No, one of my favorite games
Fortnite.
as a kid, man. So I think I don't know, right? Fortnite. It was Fortnite. No.
Isn't that where Master Chief came from? Fortnite?
Yes, yeah, he came from Fortnite. That's where I saw him at. No, so I think that was around the time where I started really getting into sports, and it was like Tecmo Bowl. You get to be
Bo
like
Jackson
Bo
Chico
and Steve Young. Yes, man, and NBA Jam. NBA Jam was good. Was the game that
he's on fire.
He's on fire. Yes, man. The ad libs or the commentary on that was it was amazing. Slam a damn a ding dong. And you're just like, what did this man just say? And you didn't even care. Like, if you got on fire, like that was it. Like nobody was stopping you. You're making every shot. Like you're gonna win the game for the most part, right? So,
can we talk about NBA Jam real quick for a moment?
Yeah, come on, man. What
why? Can one of you two explain to me why Bill fucking Clinton was in that game?
What?
I don't remember that.
No way.
I swear to you. Google check it, Joseph.
Checker?
You're the Google checker.
I got you.
Google checking it.
Fact check. Yeah,
Joseph's on it. Yeah, Bill Clinton. Man, who was like the reggae guy back in the day? D that had like the really long, like colorful dreads. He was an older dude. George something. Clinton? Yeah, dude, I think he was in the damn game too.
I don't even know.
Guys, I just pulled up a video and Bill Clinton is in this game.
Thank you.
What?
Is he like a secret unlockable player or something?
It's a cheat code. Yeah, apparently.
Is that what it was? It was a cheat code.
It was a cheat code, yeah.
So that same year, Joseph, I don't know if you're able to find it or see it where you're at, but there was like several kind of hidden or whatever characters, and it was just off the wall characters, dude. Like I'm pretty sure like one was like a raptor or something, or like a dinosaur.
So George Clinton.
Yeah,
George Clinton. Yep.
George Clinton was in there. Warren Moon.
Warren Moon.
The quarterback,
from
right?
Houston Oilers.
Yeah, the quarterback. Al Gore. Al Gore is one of them.
No way.
What? Some of these people you guys may know Sal DeVita, Mark Trumel, Eric Samolsky.
Wasn't some of the Beastie Boys in one of the NBA Jams?
Oh man, I gotta look this up. Hold on.
I swear there was one of them that had all three of the Beastie Boys. I mean, I could be wrong, but I swear.
I don't remember having unlockable characters like that in there.
Yo, I mean, apparently you had to beat all 27 teams and put in some kind of cheat code in order to unlock.
Yes, that's where Nintendo Power came in for you guys. Come on.
Had the cheat codes on the back page.
So in the 1996 edition, they had NBA Jam Extreme, and you could be Marv Albert, right? On the N64. Apparently, on the 2010 version, you could be Sarah Palin.
What? Why?
Wait. In the tournament edition, you could be Prince Charles in 1995. I don't know who Air Dog is, but apparently you could be Air Dog.
I remember Air Dog, and I don't.
Yeah.
But I don't remember what it.
Yeah, George Clinton was another one. Who is this? They got somebody named Carol. Not Carol Baskin.
I was gonna say
that'd be really weird.
I can't. Yo, man, I think it's Blaze Jakowski. That was her name.
No idea.
Oh, I think that's a WNBA. Oh yeah, no, yeah, she was a saluted, an early pioneer. So I guess she was like an early female. Oh yeah, she was a WNBA basketball player.
Okay.
Hillary Clinton. No way.
Yeah, I think like in the later, like after it was after Bill though. Like Bill was in like one of the early ones.
You could be John Elway.
Yeah,
Will Smith. Holy
it was crazy.
Shit.
Because I'm with you, Joseph. I loved NBA Jam, NBA Lives back in the day.
NBA Live was the jam.
Madden,
NBA Live 95?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Me and D played that so damn much.
Yeah, we probably wore that disc out.
Because that was like, we probably did. Because that was one of the first kind of like decent multiplayer, I guess you could say, right? Like where you're both, like you don't have to share a screen, right? It's still all on one screen, and yeah, that's one thing I really liked about multiplayer on the NBA Live games.
So Justin, you were right, man. Adam, I can't pronounce his last name, but MCA from the
MCA
BC
was on there.
He was. MCA was on the game in 1995. You're
Dude,
absolutely
that's
right.
what I thought, man. I was like, man, I thought I remembered them.
The code was YXY, and you can unlock them.
No shit. Yeah. That's awesome. That is amazing.
That is crazy. I didn't know these characters were on there. My mind's blown. Again, I didn't know anything about those kind of like cheat codes or anything, man. Like we were talking in the last episode about like we had to get that thing,
genie.
but
yes,
I mean, I didn't know any of that stuff. The only thing that was close enough was like, or that I would even kind of remotely try is like on like NFL Blitz. You know, sometimes on the arcade version, they'd have like you could hit like all the buttons and you can change them to have like 3 footballs or like the Midway logo or something like that. And you can try to like unlock big heads or something. That's probably as close as I got.
Wasn't Big Head mode in NBA Jam also?
Yes.
I remember playing Big Head mode.
Yeah.
Because you always wanted to match Big Head mode with Bill Clinton. It was just a thing. You know what I'm saying? Like you just had to do it, right?
I don't know how I feel that, or not that I don't know how to feel, but it's interesting to see that politics played such a part in NBA Jam.
But
like,
it
what?
Didn't. That's the thing. It didn't though. Like, why was he even in there?
It's like one of those things where you try to get political figures to be cool.
Oh yeah,
so they
that's
like
probably why.
I think so. I think so.
Hey, this is a market that we can get into.
Yeah, to appeal to the youth. Hello, fellow high schoolers.
Now, I have to ask you questions. Do you guys remember where you were at when you first played 007 GoldenEye, or did you guys ever play the game?
Oh yeah,
played it. I don't.
Oh yeah,
I don't remember where though. I remember playing it though.
Great game. I mean, it was at every one of my friends' houses that you went to. They had 3 to 4 controllers set up to play 007, dude. Back when I was probably over in, and that shit. It was fun.
I was probably over in Germany when we played it in the army.
What year was that? Do you remember what year that was, Joseph? Or can you pop that up?
I'm gonna pull that up.
Yeah, because that'll definitely help me kind of remember. But yeah, I remember pretty much any friend's house you went to, man. 3-4 controllers, just ready to jam on that.
1997, August 25th is when
I was definitely in Germany released.
Yep.
I think I was like 4 years old or something like that.
So you never actually played GoldenEye.
But no, man. I know, right? But no, I don't remember. I think it was like our friend's dad or something who was like, or it's my neighbor. He used to have like a gaming, they always had gaming systems and stuff, and they would invite us over and we would all play. And I think our friend, his dad was like a huge fan of video games, but obviously like, when you're supposed to be an adult, you're not supposed to play video games. I'm glad that's kind of thrown out the window now, but so he would play with us sometimes and we talk a little trash, but he bought the game for his kids. And so we were all like, we would go over there and play with him. And that was the first time I was ever introduced with it. Right. And, that was kind of the first time where you would have to like yell at your friends, stop looking at my screen. So so they would, because it was a four squares on the TV screen.
That's funny.
Yeah, man. But we would do like no pistols or sorry, just only pistols or only automatics or just, slaps. You know what I mean? So I'll never forget the first time I ever played that game. And I think that's another game that I didn't beat the game, but I remember doing missions. The very first mission is you're supposed to go through this like tunnel or like this. You're in this like an air conditioner kind of
like the vent.
Station, right? Yeah. You're in the vent and you have to like crawl through the vent. And you're supposed to jump down, and I think you're supposed to take the dude out and then take his clothing and kind of pretend to be him within the place.
Yeah.
I remember me and my friends couldn't beat it, and like to the point where we just gave up. Like we gave up. Like we didn't know that you were supposed to like fall. Like you were supposed to unlock the thing. It's kind of one of those things where you're too young. You don't know. You're trying to figure out video games at the time. And I don't remember how it happened, but somebody eventually figured out that you were supposed to like look down at it, hit Y or whatever to kind of open up the crate. The vent to jump down to like knock the guy out,
kind
whatever.
Of silent.
So we would literally just fail, repeatedly just fail until eventually we were just like, okay, this game's dumb. Let's just play multiplayer only and just stick with that. And so so that's kind of one of those things where it was like, all right, but yeah, man, that game was awesome. I remember unlocking like paintball mode for that one. There was another one where I think that was another game where I actually paid and bought like the book. You know how sometimes you can get like walkthroughs from the book, and that was one of the games where I bought the walkthrough for the book, or bought the book for the walkthrough, and like was able to unlock the golden gun and a bunch of other stuff just based on just kind of following what it kind of told me to do, right?
Well, you guys remember, like, around that time, wasn't one of the big game magazines Game Informer?
Game Informer, yeah.
I think it was.
Do you guys remember that? Like, I know they always tried to push it at GameStop.
Yeah. I mean, they still do. I don't think they'll ever stop pushing that magazine. Like, if you get if you have the certain, like, you know, the yearly subscription to GameStop, like, they throw that magazine, like the digital version, in for free now.
I was going to say, I thought the Game Informer was no more.
Yeah, you can still get the digital version if you I don't know I can't remember what their yearly subscription thing is for GameStop. You know, so you get like a higher trade value and all that other stuff.
Yeah. Like your membership.
Yeah, the membership.
It's like you buy into this membership. Yep.
Yeah, it looks like it's still around. Its first issue ever was in August 1991, 29 years ago.
Jeez.
Wow.
So it's been around for a while.
Holy cow. So do you guys ever remember, I think it was for the Super Nintendo, either Clay Fighter 64? That would have been the 64.
I remember Clay Fighter.
Or Killer Instinct?
I remember Killer Instinct.
Killer Instinct was my jam.
Dude, I'm with Joseph. Killer Instinct was probably one of the best fighting games, besides like Mortal Kombat, you know, and whatever. But Killer Instinct, why do they not remake that? And I think they did a few years back, but only for like PC or something. But they need to console that, man. I would play the crap out of that if they remade that.
Yeah, I had a friend who he had the game, or so like he had a bunch of old systems, right? And he kept most of his stuff, and he would just buy, you know, a bunch of the old games. And I remember one time he was just like, "Hey, you want to play Killer Instinct?" I'm like, "Yeah," and I was like talking all the smack. I was like, "You're not gonna beat me or anything like that." This guy was like a pro. He beat me within 30 seconds, man. However long a match is, like a quarter of that is what he kicked my ass in, you know? He's just like, "You ready?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And I was sitting there just like, you know, he's just like, "Yeah, I haven't really played." He was conning me too, man. He was just like, "I haven't played this game at all, or like not that much or whatever." And it was on the Sega, and he was just like, and it was done. It was like literally like he put the combo in, dropped the controller, and I was just sitting, I couldn't do shit. Yeah, I was just getting my ass kicked, and I just like looked at him like, and I was a grown ass man. I was in college, and I was like, how's this man kicking my ass? But it's a good ass game, man. Yeah. Killer Instinct. That's oh man, I forgot about that. That's when you could be like, I'm trying to remember the characters, but
I'm sure there was like
I know you could be like certain animals too, right?
I think there was like some kind of dinosaur.
Kilgore. I think Kilgore was one.
Kilgore was one of them.
Yeah, that was one of my favorites. That's why I remember him. But Sabretooth? Maybe? Something.
Saberwolf.
There you go.
Saberwolf is.
There you go. Yes.
Yeah.
Was there a story to the game?
There was some lore, but I don't think there was like actually to play it through like any sort of story that I remember.
I guess there was like a reboot or something, because like, so Saberwolf, right? Like if you click on him, it was just like Count Von Saberwolf is afflicted with I don't know that word. And promise a cure by Ultratech if he wins a tournament. In the sequel, Saberwolf was captured by Ultratech after being severely injured during the first tournament, and has been driven mad by experimentation with cybernetic arms. He desperately seeks a cure for his, you know, thing that he's dealing with, and Saberwolf fights in his inherited castle with biting and claws attacks, and has the ability to howl and use flaming bats through sometimes they do not flame. Yeah, man, I guess apparently they have, like you said, they have a little bit of lore.
Yeah, there's a little bit. I don't remember much of it. I just remember that game was nuts, though. If you could get a roll on some combos, dude, you were a god at that game.
You like you said, the guy got on a roll with combos, and I couldn't do anything. If you know the combos and stuff. But yeah, that's a good game. I would love to have that game. They said they tried to reboot it back in 2013, just like you said.
Oh, 13. Okay.
Yeah, it was 2013 is what it said. So they tried to bring it back, but I guess it just didn't take off like it.
Nobody really did.
Like the first two. Yeah. I mean, it had been so long because Killer
Instinct. One of the characters looks like one of the Battletoads.
Yeah. Fucking Battletoads. Them are some good games. Don't even get at me on that.
Battletoads was fun too.
Dude, it was. It truly was.
Apparently, there was a Killer Instinct on Xbox One.
Yep. When did Xbox One come out?
Oh, I don't even know.
That would have been the 2013 one, I think.
Yeah, it must have been.
Yeah, I'm looking at there was the Wolf. Yep.
See, for some reason, I thought it was only for PC, but yeah, I guess Microsoft PC. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, because it was Windows 10 also.
Okay. Yep.
Pretty much anything you can play on Xbox, you can play on PC. Literally anything.
Right. Okay.
Anything that's available on Xbox is available on PC.
Oh, okay. Okay. So their little pirate game and stuff, Sea of Thieves or whatever, that's obviously available on the PC also. Oh, okay.
You know what?
Yeah, I don't know. Sorry, guys. I probably got us way off track. I don't even remember where we were at. But, man, you got that NBA Jam going for me, and I was like, wait a minute.
Well, it brings me back because another game that I remember, man, playing. And, again, I didn't understand it. I just remember it was, like, slightly scary to me as a kid, but I still played it, and I thought it was cool. Contra.
Contra was fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Contra was a crazy game, and I just, like, I don't know. Like, that game was wild, man. I just remember, like, you have a gun, you're shooting, and it was kind of like that not the still motion, but like, the old school games where you just walk and like the background would slide. There it is, man. So I remember that game being like that, but like just facing crazy demonic looking monsters and stuff.
Yeah, I think there was that might have been in one of the later games where they started adding like all these, like, it started making it more of like a scary type thing. Because the first one wasn't. I mean, I think the very last boss you fought was, or like the end bosses were, but like the main enemy were just like other soldiers or something.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it must have been. I must have not played the first one. I must have maybe played the second one.
It was like Contra, Super Contra.
Yeah. But yeah, that was a game that I played before because, again, I was being a kid at Hollywood Video, right? And I was just like, oh, what is this game? And, I picked it up and took it home and started playing it. And I was just like, what the fuck is this shit?
Wasn't the Contra the first one? Like the one known for like the first one, the first kind of cheat codes?
Up, down, left, right, BA, select start.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. This man.
Yeah.
I remember that.
You said it would give you infinite lives?
Or 99. Yep. I think it was like 99 lives.
Something. Yeah. Yeah.
That's not even fair.
It was because you actually was able to beat it.
Yeah, right. Well, there was like, I know Mario had like a cheat to get unlimited lives. When it's at the end of the levels, you have to go up the stairs to jump to the flag. If there was a turtle coming down the stairs, you could catch him and bloop, 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 and just bounce on him, and it would, it would give you 10, 100, whatever, and then it would eventually go to 1-ups, and you just keep doing it, one up.
No,
and then
way.
there was also
and you could
the warp from level 4 to level 8, where you could skip like half the game.
Oh, I do remember that. Yeah, for some reason we found out by accident.
Yeah, because you're always jumping on that top in that underground.
If you ever played it with the Game Genie, you could jump over the flagpole and it's just endless. It just runs on and runs on. You have to restart the game because there's nothing after that.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, you're right.
Oh.
I forgot about that. Easter egg there. Oh, wow. Yeah. That is true.
I don't remember. You guys remember Golden Axe?
Which one?
Oh, yeah. For the Sega?
I think there was like Golden Axe 1. Oh, yeah. I think there might have been a sequel to it.
Now, was that the one where you started out as like a person, but then you could like change into a different beast or something? Beast. Or was it? I'm thinking of Beast.
No, that's Altered Beast.
Altered Beast. Okay.
Golden Axe was the one where it was like side scrolling. It's kind of like how the Ninja Turtles arcade game was, where you had the different characters you could pick, and you all fight along each other as you like scroll through the game, as you progress through the game. And there was also things you could ride on.
Almost like was it almost kind of like Double Dragon? How you could both play kind of like that,
kind of
like the side view, and it was up and down, left, right.
Except for, like there was 2 or 3 characters. There was like a guy with like a loincloth and a battle axe. There was like a girl with like swords or whatever. What was another one?
I do remember that game, Derek. That's a
the really little wizard guy.
I think there was a little wizard guy.
But it reminded me, I also played recently. I went to an arcade and they had the Simpsons.
The Simpsons arcade
side. Yeah, the Simpsons arcade game and stuff. Where like Marge has like the vacuum and you can beat up like all these different characters and stuff.
Is that like the old school one, or is that like a new version of it?
No. That's like the old school one.
I remember that. Them were fun.
I don't think I ever beat that game.
That one, and then you said you never beat that game. I got pretty close, but I got no, did I? No, I think I did beat it. I think I did beat it because at the arcade it was free. Like it was like you paid like $10 or whatever, and you get infinite amount of game. Like it has a bunch of old games too, like from the arcades from out here in Austin.
There was one down in Houston, Kung Fu. There was a bar that they had unlimited game or like free games.
There's that place, and then I don't know if that place is still there, but there's another place that's closer to like the baseball stadium out there that it's kind of the same thing, and it's like you could rent it out and it's like a full bar and everything like that. It's pretty cool place. But the place that I went to was out here in Austin, and they had a bunch of games. They had a Marvel one, and I beat the Marvel one too. That one was pretty cool. You could be like Cyclops.
I remember there was
Wolverine.
Wasn't it the X-Men game, the side-scrolling X-Men game?
Yeah,
that was fun. I remember playing that at the arcade.
Yeah,
more fun.
And that was another one. Well, that one, like I couldn't imagine trying to play that game with money, because I would have spent like probably $20 to $50 in a game. Because like, wow. But that was another game where like if they unlock it so they can play it infinitely, so you just got to keep pushing the button to like get how many lives you want and just keep starting over as a new character. But like, yeah, man, I think within the first round I died and would have had to pay more money. Like that's like not a scam, but damn, they're gonna make some money off.
I remember that.
If they're charging you to play those games.
First, that Ninja Turtles arcade game, man, the kid lived next door to me when I lived in upstate New York. We used to go to the arcade, and we would spend our whole allowance just playing that game. We were in like 7th grade, and it was just like just dropping mad quarters into the Ninja Turtles gaming machine.
Yelling at your buddy because he can't jump or kick or fight. You're just like, don't let us die. We're gonna go back to the beginning. It's kind of one of those things. But speaking of Sega, man, I can't believe Sonic. You guys were a fan of Sonic, yes or no?
I like Sonic. I don't think I ever beat a Sonic game, though. But I remember having 1, 2, and 3. And I think I might have played... Which one? Where did Knuckles come out? Was that 3?
Oh, man, I couldn't...
Tails and Knuckles, I think, was 2 and 3. I think. I don't know. I can't remember.
Sonic I played 3. It was number 3.
3.
I think Tails was 2, and then Knuckles was in 3.
Tails was in Sonic. Yep, number 2. Damn, got a good memory, Derek.
Yeah, but I don't think I ever.
Tails was a badass because he could have fly. I loved it.
I ever beat any of them. And speaking of that,
Tails
and Knuckles are going to be in the new Sonic movie, the sequel.
Oh. Did you guys like the movie?
I wouldn't have paid to go see it. I'm glad I didn't pay to go see it.
No, I didn't like the movie.
I thought it was wholesome. I thought it was wholesome. Like it was good to, if you got kids or whatever and they want to watch it. Like I thought it was a good movie in that regard. But I honestly, I don't know how I would have in what direction. Like if I was directing it or writing it, I don't know what direction I would have gone, or like how I would have kind of gone about it. But I know whenever they first advertised for it, right? He looked
the original Sonic
bad.
A lot of people think that was just like a marketing thing. Like they had the real one ready, but they just put out that dumb looking one to get everyone riled up to get talking about the movie.
Oh, you think that's what they did?
Because how fast the turnaround was for them to show the actual to do the remade Sonic. for them to have to go through the whole movie and replace him, they had to have it already done and just had this dumb one as like a marketing thing. Because how many hours would they have had to spend? They would have had to push the release date back. If they had the whole movie done and then people complained and then they had to go back and change Sonic in every scene, because for sure it was all CGI. So they would have had to bring all them people back and then re-edit the whole movie again. It would have taken at least 6 months.
Sorry, I'm like reading this article or whatever, and they said that it's just kind of like, was the Sonic Hedgehog the movie redesigned an elaborate PR stunt? And there's just discussion with it or whatever, but it doesn't really say like whether it was or wasn't. But I get where you're coming from. That's a great marketing scheme, right? Like, even bad press is good press sometimes.
Any press is good press, even bad press. Like if it brings attention to whatever you're trying to put out there, people are going to see and be like, "What the hell?" React to it one way or another.
Yeah, because how relevant was Sonic before that? Like in like more recent years, like if it was in the '90s and they came out with the movie, and if they, that would have been amazing because it was such a hit, right? It was such a competitor to Mario at the time, especially in the early '90s. Like, was it competing necessarily to the same levels as Mario? Probably not, but it was really close. So if they would have the movie around that time, so you may be onto something because who are the people that remember Sonic? It's a little bit of an older generation than maybe young kids. But for some reason, I know he came out with an animated series, and the kids like it because I had a friend who, and again, this is just like one example, right? But like his son liked Sonic, and I was like, and I was really confused because this was 2-3 years ago, and his son was like, this was before the movie, right? And his son was just like a huge fan of Sonic, and I was like. And why? Like how? Not why. How? Like it's a cool character to get behind, but like how? Like how was that possible for his son, who's maybe 2-3 years old, born in in the 2010s, like such a fan of Sonic?
When was the last Sonic game that ever actually came out? Could have been.
There was one that came out for like PS3, PS4, but again, it's like you could buy it for $10, right? It's not like a full price game.
They release it in like one of those compilation games where like you can play all the old Sega games or something like that. It was like Sega Collection or something like that.
Well, I know it was
a standalone.
Was it a free game? I think it was I think it was one of the PlayStation games of the month or something like that. I want to say, I don't remember. I just remember I either paid for it really cheaply or I got it for free. But I do have it on my PlayStation. I never played it. I think maybe I played the beginning of it, like intro, and I was like, oh, I'll get back to this, and just never did because I always loved the visuals of it, right? So, but speaking of Sonic, man, did you guys ever have a Dreamcast?
I never had.
My buddy did.
Yeah, one of my friends in the Army had one.
Damn, so I was the only one with the Dreamcast.
Yeah. I never owned one.
One of my buddies in the Army also had the Sega Saturn.
Whoa. Okay. That's a name drop right there.
Yeah, I had a buddy that had that too.
So I had a Sega Dreamcast, but I think I had a Sega Dreamcast after it was cool. like I think it was kind of cool. It was like down the towards the end of like it wasn't like when it first released. It was years after it was initially released, and I think I found it like at a Toys R Us on sale for like really, really cheap. And my mom was just like, you want a gaming system? And I think it was between that or maybe a PlayStation at the time. I don't remember what it was. It was just cheaper than a PlayStation. I should have got the PlayStation. Yeah, I should have got the PlayStation, but I loved it, man. I loved because they had like NFL, like
NFL
2K1 NFL Blitz, like NFL 2K was on there. They had NBA 2K. They had the Sonic game. There was some. The graphics were good, man. Because I remember playing like some of the Madden games, and it looked just slightly choppy on like a PlayStation compared to that. So it was fluid, and it was like what they were doing. They were onto something. And then I think eventually, like PlayStation eventually took over, right? And Xbox took over, and all the other gaming competitors. It was Nintendo, right?
Who says the Dreamcast isn't cool anymore? I'd like to know.
I don't know. Let me go down to Target and see if I can get one.
Right.
Probably about as much.
Might be able to find one at like a GameStop.
I mean, you probably have a better chance of getting a Dreamcast than you can a PS5 right now.
That's true.
Unless you want to pay $1,000.
So since we have PS5s, could we take ours to GameStop and they should give us an arm and a leg for it?
They give you like $25 and a subscription to Game Informer.
A two-year subscription though.
Well, my friend told me a funny story. Not a funny story. He just told me a story that that they don't like. I don't know how true this is, but he asked, like, I think he went to GameStop for some reason, right? And he asked for a used PS5. Because that's what they do, right? They resell old consoles. But what he said the GameStop employee told him was that they had to send it back to like either like the headquarters or send it back to Sony. Like you could sell it back to GameStop and they give you the money for it, but like they couldn't resell them for whatever reason. So I don't know exactly too much into that, but that's what my friend told me.
Because the CEO didn't have one yet and he wanted
it. Probably.
You know,
like, I'm going to hoard all these PS5s. Screw these people.
Yes. That is what happened there.
But Derek, I just looked it up, and in February 2020, the PS Plus free games were Shadow of the Colossus and Sonic Forces. And Sonic Forces came out in 2017. Oh. That's where I got the Sonic game from.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
It was over a year ago. But I was like, man, I could have swore it was like a free game of the month or something like that. So I was like, I'm going to go check that out.
The first PlayStation 1 game you ever played?
Oh, shit.
Mine was NBA, one of the NBA games.
That would have been like, what, NBA Live 96?
I think. And then I think the second game or right after was like Crash Bandicoot and Tekken.
Oh, Crash Bandicoot. I had Tekken.
Yeah.
I'm like looking over the games. I want to say, I don't know if you guys remember. I mean, I'm sure you do remember demos.
I remember,
dude. The demo discs.
They would come in the magazines. Like they had that PlayStation magazine, and they had the demo disc on the back.
Wouldn't you even get them in the mail sometimes too? I swear I got some in the mail before. I could be wrong, but.
And I want to say one of the demos that I played was, I think it was either Tony Hawk Pro Skater. So that could have been one of the first games, or if it wasn't that game, it was definitely like Madden. It had to be Madden. Like I said, I was really big into sports around the time, and I think the first time I ever played it, I didn't have a PlayStation 1, but my friend had a PlayStation 1, and I went to his house, and he was playing Madden, and I think he was like the Green Bay Packers or something like that, and cheeseheads, right? And we were. He was just like, "Hey, you want to play?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." Now, like, he gave me the controller, let me play it, man. And I was just like, "Whoa, this is freaking awesome! This is so realistic."
Yeah, so different, right, from what we're used to. Yeah,
I mean, because I think, like I told you guys, the previous games that I played from a football perspective were like Tecmo Bowl. So when that NFL Blitz came out, it was like, what the hell? In NFL Blitz, it was like, why is this guy dropping the people's elbow on this poor, linebacker, or not linebacker, but like on this quarterback or something?
Yeah, them arcade style sports games were freaking fun, dude. Man, them were fun. Any of you guys ever play that Wayne Gretzky hockey for the Nintendo 64? It was made by Midway.
No.
Never played it, but I heard great things about the game.
I'm telling you right now, guys, that is probably one of the best hockey games ever made. To this day, even. To this day.
I've again, like I said, I never played it, but anytime people bring it up, like I've heard it mentioned on just like whether it's TV shows or just people who are like huge fans of hockey.
Sure.
And they drop that name of the game, and they say they're like, it's amazing. It's so
I'm telling you, even to this day though, you pick that game up and play it and you're like, wait a minute, this is good. It feels right. The controls aren't all weird. And I'm telling you guys, that game was a game changer.
Did you fight in that game too?
Oh, big time. Yeah, you grab them like you're each like coming up and dude, yeah. And and it was a good fight, right? Like, it wasn't you just smash buttons. You had like right hooks, you'd had uppercuts. There was like different buttons then, but you could block at the same time. I'm telling you, that game was
just an extension of Mike Tyson's
Right.
Punch Out, right?
Yeah.
Except with
Yeah.
hockey.
Yes.
Was the fighting a little bit more complex, like you said? Like, it wasn't just like you said, you just keep tapping A and hoping you knock the other character out. Like, you actually had to be strategic and like, oh shit, he's about to throw a hook, I got to throw an uppercut or something like that, right?
Exactly. Like, and you could even, if I remember right, you could like, because you know how, and generally in hockey, right, you're holding them with one of your arms and then you're throwing punches with the other arm up, down, over, wherever.
Yeah.
And if I remember right, you could even move whatever arm that was that you were holding them with the other arm to try to kind of block whatever punch might come through or whatever. But yeah, man, that game, I'm telling you guys, amazing.
The first PlayStation game I played was the first Resident Evil.
Oh.
That was
another game.
I was in.
I got a story for that. But
I was in training in Fort Sill in Oklahoma, and we had a room like off our barracks with like rows of couches and chairs, and then a TV in the middle. And on like days off, like on the weekends, I had my PlayStation locked up in my locker. I would pull it out and play in there, like by myself.
So you just get the shit scared out of you.
Yeah, because I would have the lights off and
jump
everything.
Scares.
I would play in the dark.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is, man, and I think I've asked you this before, Derek, and I should be a terrible gamer, considered a terrible gamer for this, but which one is it where you're like in a car and an 18-wheeler comes, like slams into the wall, and you could either be the girl or you could be the guy. And I think
so.
And then you have to kind of like figure out, like, I think that's how it starts. You're like driving, and then all of a sudden this 18-wheeler comes, splits you guys up. And is that 2?
Nemesis?
That's 2. I'm pretty sure.
Resident Evil 2.
Wasn't that Resident Evil Nemesis was the second one?
I think Nemesis was 3.
Yes, 3. It was 2. So yeah, I remember that was the first Resident Evil game I ever played, right? And just like Derek was saying, I was like, how old was I when this freaking game came out? The game came out in 98. So I was 10 years old, right?
Scared.
Minding my business. I was just like, yeah, I'll play this game. And that kind of starts out and the zombies like coming at you. And I'm like, oh, cool. I'm going to shoot them with my gun. Bang. Fill them up with a few, shells of lead or whatever. And then more started coming at me. And I'm all like, oh, shit, I don't have any more ammo. Why don't I have any ammo? And so they started like trying to fuck me up. And I'm like, oh, shit, right? And I'll never forget, like, the game was scary as hell already, right? Like, I'm terrified. I'm on the edge of my seat, like every time I turn the corner or something like that, right? But this is where the game got me, man. And I was like, I don't want to play this game. I was sitting and I was playing it, and there's like, you walk down this hallway, and if you walk too close to the windows, they'd come out and grab you. I mean, it wouldn't kill you, but they would just grab you and like slam you against the wall. But I was like, it's quiet. Like, the music's quiet, or if there is even music, right? It's just quiet. You're just like, all you hear the footsteps just walking down the hallway, and next thing you know, you fucking violently get grabbed, and I was like, ah! I remember like screaming, and my mom coming in and being like, "What the hell's wrong with you?" I'm like, nothing. And I just remember like pausing the game, and I didn't pick it up again until like the next day. I think I picked it up. It was the next day or a few days later. And I woke up like super early, right? The light is just barely coming out outside, and that part wasn't there. I think somebody was playing the game while I was away, because all of a sudden, like, I was like super far advanced. Like, I had a bunch of ammo, a bunch of just like a bunch of like equipment and stuff, and I was just like, all right, cool. Like, now I'm perfectly fine or whatever, man. So, but yeah, that was one of the games that I remember playing and just like being scared shitless, man. Especially when like the zombies grabbed you from the window and stuff, man. But it was such a cool game. It was a cool game.
When the dogs jumped through the
and I enjoyed it, and I see why people are so.
When the dogs jumped through the window on the first one, I dropped my controller. Like, I scared the crap right out of me. Like, I dropped my controller and everything.
So, talking about Resident Evil games, boys, who was lucky enough on their PlayStation 3 to ever download PT?
I have PT. No, it's 4. It's on PS4.
Do you? No, that was 3. Go check it. Fact check it.
Fact check it. Let's go.
Because I still have it. I have it on my PS4.
Oh, no, you're right. It might have been the PS4.
Because that was supposed to be the Silent Hill directed by Hideo Kojima with Norman Reedus in it.
Yep. So that I downloaded it and I had it.
PS4,
but
man.
I deleted it. It is PS4. Okay. Thank you, Joseph. Now, do you still have it on your PS4?
It's in my library.
No, it's...
Isn't it worth a lot of money?
Yeah.
Like, you can sell it.
But you have to sell your whole account.
That's true. But I don't think you can go back and download it now, though. I think they actually got rid of it, even if it's in your library.
No, I mean, like when you at the end of the menu bar, it has a little library thing with all your games that are on your system. I left it on there, so I could.
Oh, so it is still on your hard drive.
I can still boot it up and play it.
Oh, dude, your PS4 is worth a lot of money.
Yeah,
but I don't want to lose my account.
Yeah, that's true.
All my games, I'd have to rebuy all my games.
Did you ever download it, Joseph?
No. So I never. Again, I was always like, man, I'm a big chicken. I don't like horror games, man. So like, I've never been a follower of them. I just know that people talked about it a lot, and they're just like, oh, Silent Hill, and so people love it, right? And even Resident Evil, like, there's not a lot of, like, after I played like the third one, right? I was just like, I don't know if I want to play this shit. I just don't like. I was like, life is fucking scary as it is. I don't need monsters coming out at me, right? But I mean, I still played The Last of Us, which I thought at some parts were scary as shit. But you know what I mean? Yeah. But it was one of those things where I never paid attention to until after the fact, and people were just like, oh my god, like they were so excited. They were hoping it was going to come out. Whatever happened with that? Do you guys know what happened with all that? Like why it never was released?
Because it was supposed to be
just some kind of
a Konami game, and Konami and Hideo Kojima split ways. So, it never went through.
Oh, okay. So, yeah.
Because I think Konami holds the rights to Silent Hill.
Fair enough.
Yes, that is correct.
And that's why Kojima went on and made Death Stranding.
Which, speaking of, how was it meeting him? Or getting to take a photo with him?
Him and, the lead creator were there. That's who I took pictures with, was him and the lead creator, I think he was. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I did you get starstruck at all?
Let's see. When I walked up, I know I said, it was very nice to meet you. And then I told him, and arigato afterwards, thank you in Japanese, because I thought, for his fans to know something, would be good. I didn't want to. So, I mean, it was cool to meet him. I stood in line forever to get to see him though. Luckily, it was indoors.
Yeah. I will say that. Just kind of speak on what you're saying, right? Me being Mexican and or being, Mexican American, and anytime I come across somebody who's from Spain or Ecuador or Salvador or something like that, and if I just say a little bit of Spanish, they get people just get super excited, and they're like, oh shit, hell yeah, so I'm sure he appreciated you just kind of
trying,
just origato, right? Just saying thank you, you know what I mean? Just being oh shit, this person took the time to try to learn something.
And I think I did a little wow when I walked up to him before I went to take pictures with him.
Damn, man, that's awesome. So yeah, I mean, I'm sure he appreciated it, man. So you took that time just to kind of try to learn the customs a little bit, or learn a word or something, just to kind of do that, man. That's pretty.
Now he does speak a little English, right? He's pretty good with English. Also,
he can speak some English. I mean, it's not the best English. I think when I think when he was at the E3 that announced Death Stranding, he talked a little bit. But I think for the most part, they probably have a translator for him.
Oh shit! You know who else was the director of that game, or the PT trailer? Guillermo del Toro.
And he was in Death Stranding also. He played a character in Death Stranding.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
He was.
Did he really?
Deadman, I think was his character's name. What the hell's that? Can you guys hear that?
Damn, that's pretty cool.
Or is that just my mic picking that up, or my headphones? Sounds like a lawnmower or an airplane flying low.
No, I kind of hear something too. I do hear it's very faint.
I see a guy.
Yeah, it sounds like a fan.
The guy's across the parking lot with the blower, but he's not blowing anything. He's like got it aimed like in the air. Like,
you'll have that.
Oh, now he's blowing some of the. I guess they mowed the grass today.
So, guys, kind of changing the subject here a little bit, but movies or TV shows? You guys watch any movies or TV shows recently? You kind of digging?
I've been watching Expedition Bigfoot.
Okay. He's still out there, isn't he? He's still out there.
Dude, he is. Especially up here in the northern states. We definitely believe it.
So this is the second season. At the beginning of the season, they started in like southeastern Kentucky. And then at the midpoint of the season, they moved to Washington State. So they're in Washington State right now. And they're trying to they try to get photo evidence or whatever, video footage or something. So they have like 3 people that are out all night for like a couple weeks, like spend the night in the woods and everything. And they go out in the middle of the night with like night vision or thermal or whatever to try to catch whatever they can.
Man, the funny that you mentioned that on my way, odd thing, but I was driving back from Houston, and on my way back, in somebody's front lawn, they had this giant cutout of Bigfoot that was completely spray painted black.
I thought you were gonna say Chupacabra. Damn it.
No, man, it was Bigfoot. Like, they had a huge cutout, like it's probably like 7 feet tall, like a giant cutout, and I don't know why, and it was just like completely black, and it just. I
see them all over around up here.
There's a business,
really?
Yeah, just random. There's businesses that make
where I work
them.
Or where I live, like down the street from me, they have like a giant Sasquatch out front of their business, like a big, cast model, whatever it's made of. I don't know. I never bothered to stop to see, but yeah, they just have a giant Bigfoot standing out front of their business.
Oh man, that is hilarious.
Yep.
That is funny. What about you, Justin? Are you watching anything recently, or?
Have you
had some time? I know you've been busy.
I really haven't had much time to. Been working a lot. Nothing newer. No, definitely not. Nothing newer.
Definitely not the Mortal Kombat movie.
Definitely not the Mortal Kombat movie.
I did start the first one, the old school like 90s one. I did start that one today. That one,
great movie. Great movie.
I will say the story is pretty good, man. Yeah. So far, the story is really good. Graphics terrible, right? Yeah. Because like it's so dated, man. But like,
yes,
if they would have made that story
with this new one
and kept some of the characters and just adapted like some of the newer technology with like the everything they had, man, it'd be great. The movie would have really held up. But the first one, man, the old school one, like that one. The fight scenes also could have been a little bit better, but man, it's just such a good story. I really like it, right? It's like Liu Kang, his brother dies because Shang Tsung, like, was it? Shang Tsung, killed Shang Tsung. Thank you. Killed like his brother, and is trying to like entice him to come fight him or to come fight in the tournament, right? Because he didn't want to fight in the tournament initially, and so he like goes to this like hidden area or whatever, and where like where these temples are, and that's where he meets all the other characters, and they're kind of like listening, and then Sub-Zero and Scorpion make an appearance, and man, it's again, I don't know if it necessarily holds up, but the story, like I said, is really good.
It is. That's why I like the first one too.
Yeah, the first one was good.
So another movie that I watched recently was it's an old 60s movie called with Paul Newman called Cool Hand Luke.
I've heard of it. I've never watched it.
I don't know if you guys have. It's a pretty good movie. I would say that it holds up, but it's so funny to watch films like that. Like me growing up, anytime I ever it kind of takes place about this character who was like an old war hero, or like he's very decorated, and he goes to jail, right? And he goes to jail in some southern state or something, and and it's like he kind of joins like this. It's kind of like a chain gang, but they just like cut grass with like. It looks like a scythe or something, right? And they just cut grass with that, and they're on the side of the road, and that's all they do. They work, all day, right? They get free labor, and then they go back to the prison, which a prison is like, it looks kind of like a barracks area, right? Like an old school barracks area where it's just a bunch of beds, bunk beds and stuff. They sleep on there and whatever. But a good movie. But again, growing up, man, watching prison movies, it was like nothing like when I grew up watching, like, newer prison movies. There's like, there's gangs, there's drugs, there's people getting stabbed. And this one, it was just like when you had an issue with somebody, you had to wait till Saturday afternoon. And like the prison guards and stuff. Hold on. The prison guards would like put you in a circle and
you just duke it out
at each other with boxing gloves. Just duke it out. That's how it is, right? Where like some of the newer films now, right? Or I guess even movies with the Fast 15 movies, that they had like any kind of prisons in it, right? It's like you're in a gang, you have to stab somebody to be a part of the gang or kill somebody. And this one, it's just like, just beat the shit out of each other. There's no gangs. There's none of that stuff. They play cards together. They drink Cokes together. Like it was just so funny in comparison to see like what films are today, or like what prison films were back in the day to what they are now, right? But it's a good movie. I would recommend. I agree. Like I said, Paul Newman is awesome. He's, not only makes great salad dressing, but he's also a good actor.
Gotta love some Paul Newman salad dressing.
Hey, man, it's some good stuff there.
That's funny.
Well, I think we're winding down on some time here. Try to wrap this episode up and make sure we have some good conversations for next time.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
So, I want to thank you guys for being here. I want to thank everyone that stopped in and gave us a listen, and encourage you to follow us and come back next week and see what else we have to talk about. What about you guys?
I agree with Derek. Thanks everybody for listening. Thank you too for working around my time schedule, because I know it's mostly me that's been kind of busy lately. So I appreciate that. I have a blast with you guys. Thank you guys. Thank everybody who's sticking around to listen.
Absolutely. Thank you everybody thank you everybody for who's listening, and always never forget, man, Bigfoot is out there. The search shall go on.
One day we'll find him.
Absolutely.
All right, everybody. We'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for coming by.